everybody, my name is Avialence and welcome to another Warframe video. This is just a quick guide video where I'm going to give you some tips and tricks to fighting the new boss. It is the JG-2000 Golem, aka the Lephantis, I believe is what it's called, so bear with me here. But this is just a quick casual guide to run you through the fight if you guys are having difficulty with it. It's altogether not that hard as long as you have the right gear, but I figured I'd go ahead and walk you through it. So the basics of this fight are the idea that it's a two-phase fight. Now fire and armor-piercing weapons are going to be the most effective, so make sure to equip mods that do that. These are heavily armored opponents. Now it's going to spawn 3 arms. It'll start with 1, and then go to 2, and then go to 3 in the first phase. You'll fight all 3 of these in the second phase, but each arm will have a different effect. The first being rage damage, the second being poison clouds in the form of range damage explosives, and the third being a heavy melee. It's important to focus fire on each arm, and this will eliminate the threats quicker and make the area easier for you and your team to manage. The big thing too here is manage your ammunition. It'll spawn from mobs but not in large quantities. I recommend having ammo boxes and restores for your team. Obviously avoid the poison clouds, they deal a ton of damage, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then I also recommend killing the spawning pods. These will be dropped throughout the fight, more toward the middle of the first phase and a lot in the second phase. And what these spawning pods will do is spawn infested. These infested will drop poison clouds, suck up your power, and do everything that we definitely hate that they do. It gets a little annoying upon, this happening during the boss fight. Now, when attacking the arms, it's also important to make sure that the arms can be damaged. This is indicated by an open pink area on each of the arms, and this spot will vary on each of the arms. On the first arm, just the ranged one, it's a little mouth that opens up. Make sure you're hitting it from the front, because if you aren't, it's obviously not going to do the damage. Then on the second one, it's more like a cobra head, right? And when the cobra head is exposed, make sure that the flaps are open. If the flaps are not open, you may still see some pink area in there, but it is not going to do damage, so just make sure not to waste ammo there and hit it when the flaps are completely open and it looks like a cobra about to strike. The third melee one has a little face basically hidden on its stomach. You can hit it there, and you can also hit it when it does its melee attack and jams itself in the ground. It'll open up a little mouth above the claw arm that it has. Now, in this fight, it's extremely important to manage your resources. It's something that we kind of had the ability to do, so to speak, because all of our weapons were pretty upgraded. I was using a level 30 Boltor and then 2 dual Vastos that were level 21. It's just, again, very important to manage your resources here. You will run out of ammo quite quickly, especially if you're using a gun that uses ammo fast, for example, an assault rifle, right? It's also important here to manage the mobs and the spawn pods, as you guys see on the text via the screen. This is what happened right here. We did not manage those, and actually some poison clouds doubled with those did not go over too well, and they ended up killing us. So just make sure to manage those mobs, otherwise you will end up taking a lot of damage. Now, offensive abilities are not going to be very effective during the first phase. The arms will barely take damage and constantly be moving, so I would stick to defensive and movement abilities for your team. Now, I was using Frost Prime, so I used his snow globe consistently throughout this fight. It protects from the poison explosions, it actually eats the damage and doesn't let the poison spread, and it also protects against the melee attacks later when the third arm comes up, which was great. I was able to eat a ton of these melee attacks, and you'll see this in the second phase. We also had my buddy Josh rolling Volt, and this was for his speed boost ability. This actually allowed us to run around the room a lot and grab resources or escape when we had a bunch of mobs or anything around us, or when an arm popped up at the wrong time. Now, during this first phase, that's really all you guys need to know. It's very kind of cut and dry and very, very easy to mess with. So be sure to just focus on that. Now I'm going to go ahead, back out for a minute here. We'll speed up the first, or I guess the last part of the first phase, and then I'll see you guys during the second phase to continue talking about a couple tips and tricks.
Oh, okay. I see.
The hand either. He's so close.
I was gonna say I still have, before they redid the rifle and stuff.
Shit.
I still have like 100 rifle ammo boxes. I'm good.
You're fucking
Nice.
trash. Oh.
Okay, that's a dead hit. Wow, that didn't even hurt me at all.
There we go. He's dead.
All right, he's done. So
You're
get ready to
now,
move.
Remember, go around and
Oh, get the mod, get the mod.
Mod if he drops one. Oh, he doesn't.
Oh, he did last time. Oh, yeah, it is. It's over there.
Give it to me.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Oh. Okay, so center first. Oh.
Head first. Head first.
Oh, that's so awesome, dude. Oh my god. Okay. I feel like I'm playing WoW.
So welcome to phase 2 of the fight. Now during phase 2 you'll be facing all of the arms at once. Now each of these arms will retain the same ability, but with slightly increased damage. Now there will also be 3 elevated platforms around the room, which I recommend you sticking to, because you will be able to avoid the electrified water that is on the floor of the room, as well as the poison clouds that the boss will be throwing down. These two combined will kill you very quickly, which is kind of why I wasn't able to confirm that level of increased damage, because if I did step in that, I just dropped, and there was nothing I could do about it. So just make sure to stick to the platforms and keep moving around in circles. The boss will continue to spin in circles as the melee arm tries to get a hold of your guys, but it's just important to continue focus firing on each of the 3 arms while moving around the room to avoid the melee. Now another viable strategy is to actually have a defensive frame, such as Frost, hold the attention of the melee arm. This will actually keep the boss from spinning around and allow other players on your team to focus fire without having to run it off, so it stops the interruption of their fire. I was able to do this using Frost by utilizing my ability Snow Globe, where I was actually able to hold the attention, take many hits, and stay alive, basically without being down while the others kind of wailed away on the boss. Now remember to manage the pods that spawn adds here as well, because these will come up very quickly and overwhelm you, especially because they spawn some toxic ancients. That toxic can get into your defensive abilities such as Snow Globe, which will really terrorize your team a little bit. But that's kind of the gist of it. Just use offensive powers here because they are more effective in phase 2, specifically ones like Valbon's Tesla. My buddy Thomas, who's playing Valbon, actually threw that down and just kind of tore him apart with it. He threw 4 or 5 down. So it's good to do that. Just remember, stay out of the puddles, and pretty soon you'll have a downed boss. So that's about it, guys. This is the time lapse for the rest of the video, and I'll go ahead and let you guys enjoy that. But I'd just like to ask that if you did enjoy this video, please feel free to like this video. Every like helps. Also toss me a comment, tell me what you think of the boss fight. I've seen a lot of people that feel that this boss fight is too easy, but I think that Warframe's really stepped up their game here as far as like animations and scale go. It's really nice to have a boss that actually feels like a boss fight. I mean, I said during the video, I'm not sure if you guys heard it, when we hopped down, I felt like I was in a raid encounter in WoW, just a little more action oriented like we'd see in something like Defiance. So it was really good to have this bigger scale fight, and I give Warframe kudos on this. I really enjoyed this fight now that I'm finally here. So I will be farming this and also posting the unedited video to this channel if you guys want to see the fight in its entirety with our commentary. We actually did it only once and downed him the first time, but you know, we had a little bit of help because 2 of the guys had done it before and failed. So that's the gist of it, guys. If you have any questions, post them in the comments below. I'm going to go back to playing a little bit of Warframe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and thank you very much for watching.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Spare parts.
There's
Sentinel item drop chance.
Well, I already have that, man.
We can do this one more time, though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can do
we
as
just
much
need
as
to
we
figure
want.
out the connection with us.
Yeah.
'Cause that's the issue.
I think that's everything, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats on downing our first Warframe boss. Oh, yeah.
The first
Wow, I super launched.